Alright, it is the 14th of July 2020 at the time of this recording. And I'm just counting down the days until I leave the place I'm in right now. I'm in a community run by the Nahui people who were here before the Spanish in Mexico. And they never mixed with the Spanish. So anyways, I found this town to be the least friendly place I've been in all the countless countries I've been in and all the countless places I've been in Mexico. Sometimes it's outright hostility. So anyways, besides that, the host of where I'm doing a work exchange is also not living up to the expectations I had. And there were a couple of other woofers here, other volunteers, and they left early because of likely some of the reasons I have why I don't like this place either. I always had a sense that I needed to keep my word. So whether it's a work contract or right now an agreement to volunteer, I need to keep my promises. So which is what I'm doing right now, even though I haven't found a single person I liked here besides the two volunteers. So I leave on the 18th, well the 17th actually, so just a few more days. Right, on to the video. Right, a rough patch, being stuck in a rut, going through and hitting bumps in the road. These are analogies used to express when you're doing something that has worked in the past, but now it is unsuccessful. What you're doing in the past is not working now, which it happens once in a while. You can do everything right, but things still don't go your way. And once in a while, that's a common occurrence. But these analogies of being in a rough patch, stuck in a rut, or hitting bumps in the road, it refers to when you are doing what you did in the past, and you're doing again and again and again what you used to do, and what you used to do that works. Now that you are doing them again, expecting the same results, it's not working out. So there's something else being at play here. Think of it as flipping a coin. When you are flipping a coin, you have a 50% chance of hitting heads. When you flip it a second time, it's 50% times the second time 50%, which is 25%. And the third time, same thing, 50% times 50% times 50%. And this isn't a linear digression of probability, it's statistics. When you continually multiply this 50%, well, it's going to be an exponential decline in the likelihood of something occurring all those times. So this concept applies to being in a rut as well. So oftentimes people, they do the same thing again and again and again, and they keep expecting the same results of having the previous success that they've had in the past. Well, oftentimes the world, there are so many layers of complexities that it's ever changing. So perhaps something changed in the world leading to what you did in the past no longer working. And a person that is stuck in a rut, they like to do the same thing again. They're doing the same thing as they did in the past. As they're doing the same thing in the past, but the world has changed, well, those changing variables leads to the lack of success that they're seeing now. These people that are stuck in a rut, often they are using the information that was good information in the past, but they fail to account for new information that is available right now. And as I previously said, the closer we get to anywhere, the more that fog of war lifts, so that you can see things more clearly. And when you can see things more clearly, it makes sense to utilize the better information that is available now. Those people that are stuck in a rut, well, they are living in the past. They're using the information that it was good in the past, but now, in the present moment, when there's new information, that past information is expired. And these people, they don't want to face the reality that many times what you do now is no longer working. And think of it as what Einstein said. Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, by this definition, someone that is stuck in a rut they are insane. They are using the past information and failing to use the current information available now, which will lead to a better result. And so oftentimes we do this because we think of all the time and effort we put into doing something a certain way, that we don't want to give it all up. So we think to ourselves, I put so much blood, sweat, and tears into doing things a certain way to get what I want, whatever that is, that I've already cultivated all these skills to get to where I wanted to go using this skill set. If I gave it away now, that would mean that I would have wasted all my time developing X when I should have developed Y instead to get to point B. That's sunk cost fallacy. As a quick review, sunk cost fallacy is when you are unwilling to give up the ghost. You are doing things a certain way, but you're unwilling to discard what you have already done to pursue something that is better. You're failing to account for better information. You're thinking to yourself, I have already put in so much time doing what I'm doing. If I did something else now, that would mean that what I'm doing now, it has been a complete waste of time, and I'm unwilling to accept that fact. And additionally, this means that these people, would be admitting that they're wrong, which no one likes to do. Because people, we're stuck in our ways. For examples, think of many people, they like to take the same route to work. They have a pre-scripted dialect when they're interacting with people. If someone says hi to you, they do to say, hi, how's it going? You don't really think about it. Or you take the same seat in class if you're in a school setting. You do all this because we want to conserve brain power. It takes so much, it simplifies our decision making when we have a scripted line of what we're going to do. It makes our life easier. If we think of our brain as a computer, it saves on bandwidth, it saves on RAM, so that we can either focus it on doing other things, or more often than not, we don't use our brain power to its fullest extent. So oftentimes people get stuck in a rut because they want to conserve, consciously or not, on their brain power so that they don't have to invest so much more extra effort to get to where they want to go. Because changing the way you do things, that requires a conscious effort to make a new habit. And think of Blockbuster and Netflix as an example. So Blockbuster, they were very successful before the internet before the internet became common. They rented DVDs, I believe, somewhere around there. They rented DVDs, and before you had the internet, that's how you watched a movie or a TV show. You would have a DVD and you put it into the DVD player and watch it on your TV. Of course, with the new information that became available, new technology that became available, that was the proliferation of the internet, so that was available to common people. Well, that changed things. And Blockbuster, they failed to recognize it fast enough to adapt to this changing technology, this changing information that became available. While Netflix, they were a new company at the time, which capitalized on this new information that became available. Because so often, we get caught up in the way we do things. We like to do things a certain way, and it gets us a certain result. We do X, and we get to point B in return. This leads to us not wanting to do something else. And when things aren't going our way, we get caught in a rut, quote, a rut, because our X input is not leading to our B end goal. We scratch our heads thinking, why? Why is this happening? we keep doing the same thing, keep on putting the X input again and again and again, and hoping one time, hopefully, it works. Hopefully we break out of that rough patch. Hopefully we break out of that rut. Of course, that is not the most efficient way of doing things. By the logic of Einstein, if you keep on putting the same input that is not working, well, it's insane to think that you're going to get a different end result. So it is helpful, therefore, by that line of reasoning, to pivot and change and do something else, which requires you to activate that brain power that we so often, we don't like to use because, well, it's hard to admit that we're wrong, one, and hard to put in the extra effort to find a new way of doing things. But once we find that our old way of doing things, it's no longer working, the logical thing is to cut our losses and change avenues so that we can take a new path to get to where we want to go. If this new path may not work out, if that's the case, well, we just keep on searching. And eventually, if we put our heads to it, we'll eventually find an angle we can cut so that we can get to where we want to go and reach that end point, break that rut, get through that rough patch, and drive past those bumps in the road.